Did you know your business can honor God while transforming lives around the world? Welcome to the IBAM Biblical Entrepreneurship Show, the weekly podcast that inspires and equips Christian entrepreneurs to build sustainable businesses that glorify God and uplift impoverished communities. At IBAM, our mission is built on the three fish metaphor. Give a fish. We provide startup loans to launch businesses. Teach to fish. We offer entrepreneur training for lasting growth. Equip for discipleship. We empower discipleship to multiply impact. Join IBAM's founder, Steve Adams, as he shares powerful solo episodes and expert interviews filled with mentorship, insights, and real-life stories of how biblical entrepreneurship is advancing the Great Commission. Subscribe now and get ready to be inspired, equipped, and empowered to make an eternal impact.
Why your church's fundraising strategy might be broken, and how to fix it for good. Every Sunday, across North America, churches pass the plate. Digital giving kiosks hum in the lobby. Pledge cards rest on pews. Campaigns are launched. Yet many pastors quietly wonder, why does it feel like we're always asking, but never truly advancing? Today, we're going to talk about the uncomfortable truth few church leaders say out loud: your church's fundraising strategy might be broken. But more importantly, we'll uncover how to fix it in a way that doesn't just raise money, but multiplies mission. The problem isn't the people, it's the paradigm. You know your congregation is generous. You see it when they bring meals to the sick, show up early to set up chairs, or sponsor kids on mission trips. But when it comes to the giving bucket, there's tension. Fatigue, hesitation. You launch a new campaign, but it barely moves the needle. Here's the real issue. Churches are operating on an outdated fundraising model rooted in charity, not sustainability. Traditional model, tithes to staff plus programs plus occasional missions. In this model, the church is the sole engine. People give to the church. But what if people could give through the church into something bigger than budget lines? This is where most fundraising strategies fall flat. Why your donors are quietly withdrawing. Donors today aren't just writing checks. They're asking, does this gift actually change anything? Is this model just keeping the lights on or lighting up the world? Can my giving fuel long-term transformation? And the most important question, is there spiritual ROI? Many givers today are strategic. They don't want their donation to disappear into a general fund. They want impact, transparency, kingdom multiplication. The faulty assumptions of the traditional church model. Let's expose some of the silent assumptions that are quietly killing generosity in the church. 1. People should give because the Bible says so. Yes, tithing is biblical, but if that's your entire strategy, you're appealing to guilt, not vision. 2. People trust that church leaders will steward funds well. Sadly, donor trust has eroded. Not always because of your church, but because of high-profile scandals, vague budgets, and zero communication after a gift. 3. Programs equal impact. Programs are tools, not outcomes. Today's givers want to fund transformation, not just maintenance. Here's the truth. People aren't stingy. They're skeptical. And until that shifts, giving will stay flat. A better way from charity to multiplication. Now imagine this. Instead of giving to the church to fund more programming, your church begins to give through the church into missional, sustainable models of impact. Business as mission. What if your church budget didn't just fund events, but launched entrepreneurs in the developing world? What if your giving multiplied, not just in dollars, but in disciples? This isn't theory. It's already happening. Through IBM, $10 a month doesn't just support a cause. It trains an entrepreneur. It funds a startup. It multiplies the gospel. And churches like yours can be at the center of it. The 3 big shifts every church needs to make. Here's how to upgrade your fundraising strategy and align it with God's heart for multiplication. 1. From maintenance to mission. Stop asking, how do we cover the budget? Start asking, how do we activate the kingdom? 2. From guilt to vision. Don't pressure people to give out of duty. Cast a bold, specific vision that stirs their spirit. 3. From ownership to stewardship. You're not just raising funds. You're releasing resources for eternal impact. Help your givers feel like partners, not payers. What if your church became a kingdom accelerator? What if generosity felt exciting again? What if you could say to your congregation, because of your giving, 50 new jobs were created in Zambia. 2 young women in Central Asia launched God-honoring businesses. A former orphan in Uganda is now employing others, sharing Christ through his company. That's what sustainable mission looks like. And it starts when your church stops fundraising for itself and starts mobilizing for the kingdom. Real examples, real results, real joy. Pastor Elijah from Zambia saw it firsthand. A chicken business launched from a small IBM loan is now sustaining ministry in rural areas. Claire, a young entrepreneur in Central Asia, opened 5 branches with support from her local church and IBM, and now employs full-time missionaries. Surian in Indonesia not only launched his business, but now disciples young workers as part of his daily operations. These stories are your stories too if you choose to shift. How to start today. You don't need $1 million budget or a mission board. You just need a willing church. Here's how to begin. 1. Start the conversation. Bring this idea to your leadership team. Share this video. Ask the hard question, is our current giving model really building the kingdom? 2. Become a church partner member. With as little as $29 per month, your church can access full training kits, curriculum, global updates, and connection to real entrepreneurs. 3. Let your people see the fruit. Regularly share testimonies. Let your people experience the joy of funding transformation. This isn't just fundraising. This is discipleship. Church, the old model is fading. The world doesn't need more charity. It needs more courageous churches who believe that business can be mission. It needs you. It needs churches that disciple nations not just through sermons, but through startups. Not just through programs, but through partnership. So, what if this Sunday wasn't just about passing the plate? What if it was the day you passed the baton? From comfort to calling, from tradition to transformation, your church can fund fruit that lasts. All it takes is the decision to stop playing small. Let's build the kingdom. Let's multiply disciples. Let's make giving mean more. Join the movement at ibm.org.
Did you know your business can honor God while transforming lives around the world? Welcome to the IBAM Biblical Entrepreneurship Show, the weekly podcast that inspires and equips Christian entrepreneurs to build sustainable businesses that glorify God and uplift impoverished communities. At IBAM, our mission is built on the 3 fish metaphor. Give a fish. We provide startup loans to launch businesses. Teach to fish. We offer entrepreneur training for lasting growth. Equip for discipleship. We empower discipleship to multiply impact. Join IBAM's founder, Steve Adams, as he shares powerful solo episodes and expert interviews filled with mentorship, insights, and real-life stories of how biblical entrepreneurship is advancing the Great Commission. Subscribe now and get ready to be inspired, equipped, and empowered to make an eternal impact.